for more on this. We speak now to the Director of Gun Free South Africa, Adele Kirsten. Adele, good morning to you. Thank you so much for giving us your time. I think your initial thoughts when this bill essentially was tabled and it was out for public participation, you obviously agreeing with some of those amendments.
We support the bill. There are over 100 amendments. Most of them are significant. And the key theme underpinning most of the amendments are about reducing the availability of guns. And we know that less guns means less dead people.
Yeah, many will argue against that, saying, well, having a gun in my home allows me to protect my family. Speak to those people specifically that believe that having a gun in my home allows me to keep myself and my young ones safe.
Well, we need to look at the data and the available evidence. And in this country and other countries, there's no evidence to suggest that having a gun in your home will successfully defend you against a home invasion. In fact, the evidence shows the opposite, that a gun in the home puts everyone at risk, particularly women, for intimate partner violence. 3 women are shot and killed a day, and women who are killed by the intimate partner are mostly killed with a legal gun. There are issues of suicide, accidental death and injury, and then of course the gun entering the illegal market because it gets stolen. So guns are not the solution. They are not effective. We have to explore other ways to keep and make ourselves safe. The majority of South Africans do not own guns.
Yeah. However, though, a lot of the guns that we do see in our society are not legally owned at this point. And one could argue that a piece of legislation really isn't going to change access to firearms in South Africa.
The legislation addresses that very directly. The circulation of illegal weapons is a major challenge, and it has to be a priority of SAPS to recover them. And there are several amendments, one of which is ballistic sampling of ammunition and firearms, and this will make police's job much easier in terms of identifying where the weapon comes from, or in fact they don't even need the weapon, just recovering the bullet at a crime scene. If it's been ballistically sampled, it will indicate which gun it belongs to. The other important amendment is that the National Commissioner is required to report quarterly to Parliament on the loss and theft of SAPS guns and official institutions, as well as guns under their care. So this would mean guns that are recovered at a crime scene and in the SAPS 13 store, or guns recovered in an amnesty. This is really critical. It increases the accountability of SAPS to the public in terms of their responsibility to take care of the guns under their care.
Yeah. Adele, quickly, before I let you go, you know, we've just come out of the riots and the looting and violence that we saw weeks ago. Do you think that we would have been looking at a different picture had we had less guns in circulation in South Africa?
Well, I think it's a complex picture that we saw. And I think we must be careful not to kind of jump into what I call sort of easy narratives. I think what we did see is that the speed at which we mobilize violence against violence or perceived violence as South Africans. And there were instances where the presence of weapons acted as a deterrent. We have to acknowledge that. But that's until they don't, which is what you see is what happens in Phoenix.
Right.
Is that when there's a confrontation or a conflict and one side has less resources and less guns, they will come back with more guns.
Right.
And then you have a situation of increased death.
Right.
So
Adele, I am out of time. Yeah, I think your point is made, and I really appreciate you speaking to us. Unfortunately, I am out of time, but an important conversation, one that will be ongoing as well. That is the Director of Gun Free South Africa,